Hey folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending September 14th, 2022. I was recently at a listing presentation and this house used to be a simple little bungalow, and the seller has ended up totally transforming the house. He added a second floor, made it larger. It's all modern. I mean, it's beautiful. The home is beautiful, but from where it started to where it is now, complete transformation. And it took 4 or 5 years in the process of doing all this work. So the seller invited me over saying, I'm thinking of selling. What's my home going to sell for? And we talked about the whole marketing and selling. And while we're going through that, a week prior, the neighbor's home had sold. Now, the neighbor's home was a simple bungalow, very similar to what his was also when he bought it. So it was like a before and after picture. And when I told him what the neighbor's home sold for, although there was no comparison to his home now, his would sell for much more, he said, you know, Santo, if I didn't do any of these renos, and I just left my bungalow the same, without no changes, other than a few updates here and there, I would have probably been making the same profit. He had spent time and effort and money, obviously lots of money, blowing up his house, second floor. And when you account for all that expense, plus the aggravation of moving your family out while all these mega rentals get done and then moving them back, he says it actually wasn't worth it. I go, well, why did you do it? Because I wanted to make money, he said. He goes, the resale value is so much better. I go, yeah, the resale value is better, but if you didn't need the extra space, no, it's just, you know, my wife and a kid, we were okay with the way the house was. They got caught up in the hype, like lots of other people have been and are caught up in the hype. The TV shows, I mean, all these rental shows, you buy a home for $500,000 and then 1 year later, after a few rentals, you sell it for 1.5. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of shows like this. Whatever happened to just enjoying your house? Just live there, enjoying it. Don't worry about the resale value. Make changes for your comfort now. I mean, there's so many people worried about resale value and, okay, we got to change this, so we got to change that. And they live uncomfortably now for that elusive, phenomenal resale value down the road that they don't enjoy their home now. I go out with first-time home buyers, and they talk to me about, oh, does it have this? Does it have that? Oh, we're going to tear this wall down because of resale value. But if that's not how they want to live now, why? Enjoy the home today. Enjoy the space you have now. Unless you're a flipper and this is your business, and that's a different story. But if you're just looking to buy a home to live in, to enjoy with your family, focus on right now and what's important for you. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. York Region home prices have been hit quite hard, probably harder than any other region across the GTA. Let me know in the comments below why you think that is. Let's dive into the numbers. So I have here for Vaughan, we're going to be talking about Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham for detached properties, and then I'm going to talk about condos for all of York Region. So here's Vaughan, detached, broken down by week for a whole year. 20 detached properties were sold for week ending September 14th, One of those was at $2 million or more. Average sold price is sitting at $1,485,000, and we kind of look back there like this is a whole year. We're not seeing any other time lower than that. They're all higher than that price. Well, $1,485,000 is 15% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price for Vaughan is $1,398,000, which is 13% lower than last year's median price. And if we look at the dotted line, which is the 4-week moving average for average sold price, it's been steady for quite a bit, but now, especially because of these last 2 weeks, we're going to see it dip down a bit. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks. But, here's what's happening there. Prices are way down, both average and median versus last year's average sold price. Year-to-date sales, well, there's a huge discrepancy in volume. There's 41% fewer sales this year versus last year's sales of detached properties in Vaughan. And of the 20 that sold, not many, like 3, 15% sold at list price or more. Same time last year, 75% sold at list price or more. Listings, we have 14% fewer listings this year versus last year. And months of inventory has been quite steady, sitting at 2.3 months of inventory. Average days on market is 20. That's for Vaughan. Let's look at Richmond Hill. 12 detached properties were sold. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,728,000. $1,728,000 is 12% lower. That's 12% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price for Richmond Hill for detached property is $1,660,000, and that's 6% lower than last year's median price. And when we look at the moving average over the last 4 to 6 weeks, it's sloping down for the average sold price and also coming down for the median price. Not aggressively, but it is heading down. Year-to-date sales, 40% fewer sales in Richmond Hill for detached properties this year versus last year. 12 were sold, 8% sold at list price or more. Not many. 39 were listed, but overall listings year-to-date, 23% fewer listings this year versus last year. Months of inventory for a couple weeks now has been going up. It's now sitting at 3.6 months of inventory. Average days on market is 29. Here's Markham. Markham seemed to me like it was rebounding, kind of come back, because it had a few months there where things were just not going well. But 25 detached properties were sold. 5 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price has come down further. It's now sitting at $1,586,000, which is 17% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price is also way down to $1,405,000. But if you look at the 4-week moving average for both median and average price, it's kind of sloping upwards a little bit, which is kind of the opposite of what you would expect. But again, that's the 4-week moving average. But these last few weeks where prices have come down, especially this week now, let's see what happens over the next few weeks here. We have 48% fewer sales in Markham this year versus last year. That's one of the lowest. 48% is a huge difference in sales this year versus last year. We have 28% fewer listings year-to-date this year versus last year for Markham. And 1.6 is the months of inventory, which is, I got to say, some things I just can't explain. I'm surprised. I mean, I know how to calculate the number, but I'm surprised that months of inventory is that low, keeping in mind that prices are coming down also. When I see months of inventory this low, I'm expecting prices to go up. So let's see what happens in the next few weeks, but some of these numbers are hard to explain. York Region condos. 30 condos were sold across York Region. None of those sold at least $1 million or more. Average sold price is sitting at $714,000, which is 12% higher than last year's average sold price. The median price is almost the same. It's sitting at $715,000, and the median price is 16% higher than last year's median price. And if we look at the 4-week moving averages, well, if we go back 4 or 5 weeks, average sold price and median price has actually been going up quite a bit, actually. Year-to-date sales, however, 32% fewer sales this year versus last year. Of the 30 condos that sold, 10%, not many, 10% sold at list price or more. 92 were listed. Year-to-date listings, we have 5% more listings across York Region. These are condo listings. And months of inventory is sitting at 3.6 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary of all the months of inventory. Look, we have a real interesting real estate situation going on right now. Lots of opinions, lots of reasons why things can happen, and so many prices and trends going on that are even difficult or unexplainable. Basically, attitude has a lot to do with things. The next few weeks are going to be super interesting. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.